should withdraw from the Schengen Agreement and reintroduce our own border controls. In order not to provoke, but to demonstrate that we never give in to threats and violence, and that we proudly and firmly support our freedom.
The Netherlands has long been known for its open and welcoming attitude, but that is changing. Why is the country now saying no to immigrants? The face of anti-immigration in the Netherlands is the Freedom Party leader, Geert Wilders. He opposes the large influx of immigrants and wants the Netherlands to opt out of the EU asylum policy.
11% of Muslims in the Netherlands. That's 100,000 people, twice the size of the Dutch army. Let me finish my sentence. And they think it's justified in the Netherlands to use violence in the name of Islam. If you're not willing to see that, you are in danger.
Just 6 months after Wilders won the Dutch elections, a Dutch coalition proposed the strictest asylum policy ever. Wilders advocates for a 0% asylum policy, meaning no new asylum seekers would be allowed into the country. He also wants the Netherlands to leave the EU. Additionally, Wilders calls for stricter border controls, increased deportations, and tighter regulations on asylum seekers already in the Netherlands. This isn't new. Wilders has made anti-EU statements before, criticising their handling of the large influx of migrants.
Our survival today and the threats to our freedom are the European Union, mass immigration, and this terrible Islamic ideology of submission and violence.
Not only does Wilders want the Netherlands to leave the EU, but he also isn't shy about making anti-Islam statements, frequently tweeting about his views. To understand this shift, let's look at the historical context. The Netherlands has a long history of immigration, welcoming people from all over the world. However, in recent years, public sentiment has significantly shifted, with growing concerns about housing, employment, and cultural integration. As a result, the political landscape has changed dramatically. So what exactly has changed, and why is the Netherlands taking such drastic measures? It began with Geert Wilders, who finally won the elections last year after trying for 25 years. This indicates that people in the Netherlands want to see change. The question now is, will the Netherlands go through with it? Will they opt out of the EU asylum policy? A spokesperson for the EU says this isn't something that can be done easily. Wilders is referring to opting out of the EU asylum policy, similar to what Denmark did last year. Denmark negotiated an opt-out to implement a 0% asylum policy. It's clear that the Netherlands also wants fewer immigrants. Not only do they seek to reduce the number of refugees, but they also want fewer international students at their universities and plan to enforce stricter rules for migrant workers.
3. Begin by dismantling Islamic institutions like mosques. Start by closing foreign-funded mosques, including those that receive funding from abroad and are under the authority of Diyanet, the Turkish Ministry of Religious Affairs. And not us. 4. Lock up anyone who threatens or uses violence or deport them from our country. And if necessary, take preventive action against those hundreds of supporters and thousands of sympathizers of the jihadist movement in the Netherlands. And 5, Chairman, request...
So why are these drastic measures being taken? One of the biggest reasons is the housing crisis. The Netherlands is facing a severe shortage of affordable housing, and many believe that reducing immigration could help alleviate this issue.
And in so many other countries, the indigenous people are the people that are discriminated against. It's not the people who are entering our country. In Holland, people get housing, asylum seekers get housing, and they get preferential housing before the Dutch indigenous people. So who is discriminating who? And people are really angered about that.
Additionally, there are economic concerns, including job competition and the strain on public services. Social and cultural impacts also play a role, with some citizens feeling that the influx of immigrants is changing the fabric of Dutch society. The new coalition government has promised to implement the strictest asylum rules ever seen in the Netherlands. This includes requiring non-EU labour migrants to obtain work permits and making employers responsible for housing migrant workers. These measures aim to reduce the number of new asylum seekers and better manage the current population. In addition, highly skilled migrants and international students will face tougher regulations. The government plans to tighten visa qualifications and limit the number of spots available for foreign students. Furthermore, tuition fees for non-EU students will increase, and there will be a shift towards more courses being taught in Dutch. These steps collectively reflect the government's efforts to exert more control over immigration and address various concerns including housing, job competition, and the integration of newcomers into Dutch society. These measures aim to prevent the influx of students and workers from overwhelming local resources.
Own border. You are no Europeans, and you will never be. An Islamic state like Turkey does not belong to Europe. All the values Europe stands for, freedom, democracy, human rights, are incompatible.
Integration requirements are also becoming more stringent. The standard period for naturalization has been extended to 10 years, and the language proficiency requirement has been increased. Additionally, the government is tightening regulations to counteract what it considers undesirable foreign influences, with the goal of preserving Dutch cultural norms. Housing shortages have been a critical issue, prompting the government to postpone family reunification for asylum seekers until adequate housing is secured. These policies collectively reflect the government's strategy to manage immigration more effectively, alleviate pressure on local resources, and promote integration under stricter conditions. This controversial policy has sparked criticism because it might break European rules by keeping families apart for a long time. The Dutch government is making these changes now because asylum centres in the Netherlands are overcrowded, leading to poor living conditions. They aim to reduce new arrivals and find more housing for those who already have residence permits. The influx of migrants has strained the Dutch economy and social services. By tightening immigration rules, the government hopes to ease these pressures and ensure that resources are available for Dutch citizens and long-term residents. The rise of right-wing parties like the PVV reflects a growing sentiment among the Dutch population for stricter immigration controls. This political shift has prompted the current coalition government to prioritise immigration reform as a key policy issue.
Indeed, without saying that all Muslims are bad people, we would want to stop the immigration and the import of more people from Islamic countries. We will do that the same day. People are waking up. This patriotic revolution where people want to find their own identity and are not racist all, but want to fight for the preservation of their own people, their own country, their own values, their own money.
It's interesting to note that the Netherlands isn't alone in this trend. For instance, Denmark has already negotiated an opt-out of the EU's asylum policy, enabling them to enforce nearly zero asylum intake. Wilders aims to follow Denmark's precedent. However, the process is complex and involves numerous legal and political challenges. It's essential to recognise that the Netherlands is not the only country moving towards stricter immigration policies. Other European countries, such as Denmark and Hungary, have implemented similar measures, citing national security and economic stability as primary reasons. This trend mirrors a broader shift towards nationalism and protectionism in Europe, where countries prioritise their own interests over collective European values of openness and solidarity. The challenge lies in balancing national interests with humanitarian responsibilities and finding a sustainable approach to immigration that benefits both native citizens and newcomers. This delicate balance is crucial for fostering cohesion within European societies, while addressing the complex realities of migration and integration. The election results indicate that a significant portion of the Dutch population supports these policies, hoping for change. However, it's important to recognise that the Netherlands is a diverse country, with a wide range of opinions. Many people strongly oppose these measures, arguing that they contradict the values of tolerance and openness that the Netherlands is known for. What might these policies mean for the future? In the short term, we could see fewer asylum seekers and immigrants coming to the Netherlands. However, in the long term, the effects could be more complicated. Economically, the country might struggle if it loses a valuable workforce. Socially, these policies could create more division and tension within Dutch society. For the EU, this could indicate a shift towards stricter immigration rules across Europe. In conclusion, the Netherlands faces a crucial juncture with Geert Wilders' stringent asylum policies. The country is boldly asserting its position on immigration. Whether these measures will effectively address the housing crisis and other issues remains uncertain. However, one thing is evident: the debate on immigration in the Netherlands is far from settled.